Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Kathy Stitches. My name is Catherine and this is a channel all about cross stitching. Although there hasn't been a ton of cross stitching recently, and in fact I think my last update with you was at the end of March, and although I did have good intentions of doing regular ones, you know what they say about good intentions. But anyway, what I thought I would do today is pop on and, well, basically do a mid-year active WIP parade. So not all of my WIPs, just the ones that I have, well, I have plans to touch at some point the rest of this year. So I do have other WIPs that are kind of inactive, so I'm not going to cover them. I might do that as in an end of year WIP parade, but for now I've got, how many is it, 16 cross stitch patterns that I'm going to show you, and my progress or lack thereof, and also some finishes, the finishes that I've recently done and the finishes this year. And I'm really sorry about the vocal fry with my voice at the moment, but bear with me. My voice is a little bit tattered at the moment. Anywho, what I'm also going to do is a bit of a life update at the end of this. So for all of you, all of those who are just interested in the stitching, you can watch this first part of it and then check out with my permission and blessing. And anyone who is, sorry, that's a cat, and anyone who is interested in a life update, just stick around to the end. So anyway, let's get on with this because I don't want to be here for ages. It is Monday the 26th. It is about 7:30 in the evening. It's a lovely sunny day. You can see the sun streaming in there, so hopefully that should show off my stitching quite well. I'm surrounded by cats. The dog is downstairs. Hopefully we'll get through this without any major incident. So let's get started. I'm actually a little bit organised today. I've got a list of everything that I'm going to show you. I have things out of the bags already to try and keep the speed up here. I will insert pictures where they're appropriate or show you stuff on my iPad. And, well, to be honest, most of them there hasn't really been much progress this year. But, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. However, I have had some rather good finishes this year, so let's go into them first of all, shall we? So the first one is a golden oldie that well, it's two in one really. One of them that I finished last year but didn't fully finish, and one I did finish at the beginning of the year, and then I fully finished them both as a flat fold. Oh God, I am so sorry about my voice. But anyway, it is my Plum Street patterns. Eat Crow, this is the one I finished this year, and Buzz Off. And this is on 36 count R&R vintage beeswax. And I've done this 2/1 because I wanted really good coverage. And as I said, I finished it as a flat fold like that, and I absolutely love this. Every couple of days I'll switch it round the side that I'm showing, and it's normally just on the back here. Oh, and there's, I don't know if you can see it, let me see, there's one of my cats down there. There's little Amy, that's her new favourite position there. But anyway, yes, this was the first finish and fully finish of the year, and I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to put it back on here. There we go. And I've just scared the cat. Okay, so the next finish, this is also one that I have shown previously, but it was this year, so it's my Prairie Moon Martini Witches. This was my introduction to the Prairie Moon patterns actually, because I saw Erin of Two Martini Stitches stitching on this, and I just fell in love with the patterns, and I now have completed 5 in the series. It's the Crypt Club, and I just love them. I've got a couple of more to go. I'm due to start another one soon, but yeah, this was my finish. When did I finish this one? Oh, I've not got it in front of me, never mind. I finished this in the beginning of the year anyway, but I just love this. And they're all in these just plain black frames. I just lace them up, get them as straight as I can, which isn't always easy because this is linen. It's 28 count. It's Picture This Plus Haunted, and it's very easy to go a bit skew whiff on it when you're trying to get it straight when you're lacing it, but you know, I've done the best I can, and to be honest I think it looked quite good on the wall, so I'm very happy with that. So the next are ones you haven't seen. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm telling you a lie here. One you have seen, but you've not seen it fully finished. So for any of my returning viewers, hello. Oh, by the way, I kind of rushed into this because you can tell it's been a while since I've done one of these. Welcome back to any of my subscribers or returning viewers, and hello to any newbies. As I said, this is a channel about cross stitch, and I have lots of cats that generally mill about in my videos, and I have a dog who's downstairs who's probably sulking a bit because she's not got my attention. But yes, so welcome. But I love caterpillar, not caterpillar, sorry, I love cricket collection patterns, and you can probably see on the wall there that several of them there, I particularly like the seasons and the months that they do. That's one of my favourite there, autumn. And I've got spring up there, and oh, I did have summer. Oh, there's summer. You know, oh, sorry, it's just cut off slightly at the top here. But I've been working through the months now, and one that I did last year was September. But I finally fully finished it, and I fully finished this about a week ago. There's a big fabric chain in the UK called Abercarn, and I went in there, the one in Bolton, 2 weekends ago, and I'm terrible at finishing. I'm terrible at matchy. I can't do that. I agonise when I'm finishing. So I just went in, and there was a lovely gentleman there who actually knew what he was talking about, and I said to him, can you help me please? Can you help me find some fabrics that I can finish these? And so we were there for about half an hour with about 20 different fabrics, and we settled on these, and I do actually really like them. So this is September fully finished, and this fabric, it's very different from what I would normally choose, but what I love is that all of these colours here appear in the actual piece itself, and I just think it really enhances and brightens it, and I absolutely love this. I think it just turned out brilliantly. As usual, I just laced this, got it as straight as I could, and I think I did quite a good job on this. These are the buttons. Sorry, you might not have heard any of that, I do apologise. Sorry, I laced this, got it as straight as I could, stuck the buttons on that they recommend in the pattern from Just Another Button Co. And then this is just literally glued down onto the backing board. There's about ½ an inch or so around. And there you go. Now I did make a silly mistake on it in that I forgot to thread the I have, you might just be able to see it there, I have a string that, you know, allows you to hang it up, and I forgot to hook it in before I glued it all down, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, so these are just glued on here and then left overnight with heavy weights on the top, but I love that. So that's September. Although I finished it last year, I fully finished it this year. I also finished this year my cryptid stitcher. Not my cryptid stitcher. I'm sorry, my brain is all over the shop. When I go into life updates, you'll know why. But I also finished the latest Whitchy Stitcher Stitch Along, and this was Supernatural. So there you go. I finished it exactly as I did the cryptid one. I've just done it as a wall hanging. Some material on the back, don't look at that too closely, it's not the neatest. But yeah, absolutely love this. This is on 28 count Picture This Plus Valor, and the September is on 28 count. I think this is, it's just a Zweigart, a neutral Zweigart. I think it's raw or something like that. But yeah, this is Picture This Plus Valor. The same material that I used on the Cryptid one. But yeah, it's just so cute. I've got them both hanging up on my wardrobe door. Well, one door each, and they just look so good next to each other. On this, mainly the called for colours, but where I felt appropriate I switched out with a toile. So for example, all the reds are a toile, and the greens, any prominent colours in each of the designs, I found the closest I could in a toile and whacked it in there, and really like that. I hope she does another one. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, my last two finishes I am so pleased with. One of them, some of you may already know because I put a picture of it on Instagram, and it is, oh, I've buried it, that's helpful of me. It is my Lindy Stitches Mary Mary Needleworker, and there you go. Absolutely love this. Not necessarily enjoyed stitching it all the time, because as I have said many a time, this skirt was an absolute beast to do, because I chose to do it to get maximum variegation, which meant individual crosses and working back, you know, like that all the way across. But the end result, I think, was, well, yeah, it made up for it because it just looked so good in the end. I'm so happy with that. Now, I have been saying, every time I've shown this, I have been saying that this is on 28 count, but it's not. It's actually on 32 count, and it's just a plain Zweigart rosy pink fabric, but it was 32 count, and I absolutely love the end result of this. Now, these little cotton these spools here, this is a lesson in why you should read the pattern correctly, because these are just like long stitches on there. It's on using a variegated, I think it's Peach Cobbler by Weeks Dye Works, but I didn't read it properly, and I was just doing, like I was doing here, X's, and you know, it looked okay. But then when I read the pattern properly, and when I realised that it's just like satin stitches going across, I couldn't be bothered unpicking it, but I really wanted that effect, so I've just gone over the X's, and I've done the same for these here. Again, I've done the X's, so if I bring that closer you'll see what I mean. There you go. So now they are satin stitches, or straight stitches, whatever you want to call them, and I think the effect is just so much better. I mean, it looked fine just doing it with the normal crosses, but I think that just looks brilliant. And by some sheer accident, I found the perfect frame, and it was a frame I already had and was using for another crosswork pattern that it was a frame that was already in use for another completed one I'd done, but I just switched it out, and it turned out that it matched it perfectly, so I was very happy with that. So this is on my wall just up here in my my office, or craft room, or croffice, whatever you want to call it. But no, I'm so happy. So it's Mary Mary Needleworker, How Does Your Garden Grow, with hand-dyed fabric, floss and pins and scissors lined up in a row, and that's Lindy Stitches, and I just love it. I really do. I'm so glad I took the time with that skirt. While I was stitching it, I wasn't necessarily that happy, but I'm really glad I did it. So that's that one. And then for my last finish, and this is my most recent finish, and it's another cricket collection, and it's another one I took to the Abercarn store to get help in how to finish it, and this is now my favourite thing ever. I just love this. This is November, and look at that bad boy. So hang on a second, let me... Now, it may not be to everybody's taste, this backing fabric, but again, I just cannot believe how literally every single colour on this is picked up, or all the colours here are picked up in this, and it just matches beautifully, and I cannot take my eyes off this when I come in the room. I just love it. It is my new favourite piece. I mean, look at that turkey. This is why I love these Cricut collection months and season ones. I just think they're amazing. So yeah, there is November finished finally. Yeah, but that fabric, how amazing is that fabric? These are actually curtain fabrics. I just bought 1/2 metre for this one and the other one, and again did exactly the same mistake, forgot to put the string through so I can hang it. I'll figure something out, but love it. So yeah, so that's my last finish of the year so far. I'm hoping I might finish other things this year, but yeah, so let's get on with the WIPs. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rushing too much, but I've got a lot to get through, and very soon I'm going to have 5 incredibly hungry cats going crazy around me. There's another one down there, so I need to get this done. And after today I've got a bit of a full, I'm going to be a bit busy, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this, and I really wanted to do a working WIP parade because I wanted to see myself where everything was, because although I've taken things out of the bag, I've not actually looked at them properly. So this is going to be as much a surprise to me as it is to you. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show is Kathy Barrick Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, which is this one. Absolutely love this. It's one of my oldest WIPs as well, so I really do need to get get moving on this, but it's just such a big beast. It's a BAP, a big ass BAP. This is on 40 count on Vintage Country Mocha by Swigart, and I can tell you there has been absolutely zero progress on this since I showed it at the beginning of the year. So yeah, there we go. But I have reached the bottom, and this is, I think this may actually be the end here. If not, there may only be 1 or 2 more links to go, but I am almost across there. And there is lots of miscounting in the tree and the branches here, but I've just made it work because I was not going to unpick it. So that is Kathy Barrack, Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. Crinkle Crinkle, I do apologise, but I need to put them away because I have cats, and if I don't put them away I'll have cats treading all over it, and who knows what will happen then. Okay, so that's the first one. These are in no particular order, just in the order that they came out of the IKEA bag. I dumped them all in basically. Okay, so now we've got 2 because they stay in the same bag. Any project bags, I'll put a link down below to where I get my project bags from, but I have made these ones myself. Okay, so these are my 2 long dogs, and again there has been absolutely no progress, so I'll just quickly show you these. There won't be anything inserted. So this is You Belong to Me. I'm doing this on 32 count. You Belong to Me is on 32 count vintage grey. Vintage grey Zweigart. So, and I'm doing it just using DMC. And there you go. Again, there's been lots of miscounting on here because I fell, rather stupidly, I fell, I can't think of the word. Not fell for, I was victim of the error when it was uploaded to Pattern Keeper, because the long dogs aren't actually Pattern Keeper compatible. Most of them it works fine, but some of them, for a reason that I have been told and for this precise moment in time I just can't think of, they don't I think it's to do with the, oh, never mind, I'll probably end up giving you the wrong information, but it basically meant it was cutting off a column, and I kept forgetting, even though I knew about it. I would just be stitching away, and half an hour later I'd suddenly realise I'd done the same mistake again. But I made it work again because I wasn't unstitching it, and you couldn't tell if I hadn't told you, so I don't know why I am once again admitting to it. It's like a guilty pleasure we all have in admitting to when we make mistakes on them, but yeah. So there's that one. Now I do want to make progress on this one. Specifically this one, not to finish it this year, but to, you know, make good, you know, get a lot further with it. This is, I'm stitching this in this lovely DMC 718, and the next is my pointed fifth. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the official name for it, but it's that bad boy, a nice big one there. And I'm doing this again on 32 count, but this is Amazing Grace by Whitchy. It's amazing the difference between the two materials. This I am using a silk, it's a Silks for You purple, and again there has been no progress this year, but there we go. And again there is a mistake in there. Not to do with the issues uploading it onto Pattern Keeper, just again my inability to count properly sometimes. There you go. This is a beautiful purple, this. As I said, it's oops, how did I actually fold that? Oh, that's a bit of a mess, never mind. It is, I will tell you now what purple it is. I bought a big hank of it, and it's Silks for You PR 158. It's not variegated, it's just a really beautiful royal purple. Purple, my favourite colour. Now, I may get some progress on that this year. It'll be a bonus if I do, because I do really want to concentrate on getting quite a bit more done on You Belong to Me. So those are my two long dogs. I do have another one as well that I will eventually start, but I'm not going to start it until I finish one of these, and it is, lo and behold, I have the fabric there, but I have not yet decided what colour I will do it. I will do it monochrome again, but I am not starting that one until I finish one of the others. Okay, so next, unfortunately, no progress. I think really, apart from a couple, that's going to be most of what you hear, because to be honest, for the past couple of months I've just concentrated on finishing those ones that are down there. I just got a need to be a bit monogamous and just finish some easy gets. You know, I just wanted some nice victories and just to look at some nice stitching, so I just kind of hammered on them, and I've kind of neglected everything else, which is why I wanted to do this, so I could have a look at how far I am along on things and, you know, fall back in love with them and get, you know, start stitching on them again. For this one I've done hardly any on, and it's criminal because it's such a gorgeous pattern. It's Kathy Barrick. It's now the Moons of 2023. It's exactly, you don't need to change anything apart from that up there. And I treated myself on this, and I am using all the silks. I'm doing this as a 40 count. I have done that so far. Yes, I know, horrendous. It would have been further, but I initially started this on a 32 count, realised exactly how much stitching there was in that border and how much of the silk it would take to do it on a 32 count. So I switched to a 40 count. I had this 40 count that I got from XU Design called My Little Dove, and it means I can do one strand and be a bit more economical with the silk. So yeah, I did just like 2 columns of that, and just went through so much silk doing it on the 32 count. I don't even know why I thought to do that in the first place. But I'm much happier on the 40 count, and this is a beautiful fabric. There's the glorious silks. Not the cheapest of things, but yeah. Oh, I intend to, sorry, I intend to take out the year here and just call it the full moons or something along those lines, so it can be up permanently. Okay. Again, excuse me. Right, next one is, okay, there is progress on this. So what I will do is I will insert in a picture of what it looked like last time, of what it looked like at the start of the year. And so, well, first of all, this is which one I'm talking about. It's Ink Circles. It's the Big Red Ship of Life. This is also one of my really old ones, which is why I'm doing it on a 28 count and not a higher count, which is what I would do it on if I started now. But I most certainly am not restarting it. This is, like I said, Ink Circles. This is on 28 counts Zweigart Platinum. And yeah. And I'll either insert now or have inserted where I was, and this is where I am now. So I finally reached the end here, so this is the end of the top now, thank the Lord, and I am working my way down. So there you go. This is going to be huge. Or the Big Red Ship of Life. One big red mother. Massoof. It is humongous. I will end up doing this as a wall hanging, as I did with my other really big one, which is the first long dog I've done, which was Pilgrim. But I really love this. It's such easy stitching, and I don't actually think, touch wood, I've actually made any mistakes on this yet. God knows how. But yeah, I really like this. And I'm actually doing this using two different types of red. So the top bit here is being done using DMC, hang on 1 second, it's this, it is 115, which I think they have discontinued, so I ended up having to buy a ton of it. It's one of their variegated ones. This was the red to black one. And then the main body of it and the outside border here, I am using another Silks for You, this lovely red, and this is PR034. So like I said, I have actually worked on this year and enjoyed it immensely. So this is another one that I would like to get, oh, loose thread there. This is another one I would like to get a bit of progress on this year. Just put this away. See, it's absolutely massive. It's a bed sheet, it really is. I would never ever do one like this again now on a 28 count. It'd be 32 or 36 count all the way. It just eats through. I mean, it's not too bad on this because there is a lot of white space on this. It's not as compact as a lot of like the long dogs, and it's certainly, or a full coverage, but it still does eat up quite a bit of silk. Okay, next one, same old tune, absolutely no progress. This is a kind of new, this was a newer start as well. It's another Lindy Stitches, which I would like to concentrate on now that I finished the other Lindy Stitches one. And this one is Bury Me. So, oh, I forgot to get the picture for this. Give me 1 second. I do really like Lindy Stitchy ones. I think they are... Oh, I haven't got the... Let me find it. I was all organised, or so I thought. And I had... got all of these in a folder. And it's in the wrong orientation. Oh, how annoying is this? This is going to not want to show. There. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry, I can only do it that way. It's going to flip around any second. There you go. You can kind of see it there. It says, bury me with my needle, with my needle and some linen in my hand, for I would not be idle when I reach the promised land. And that is, I just love that one. So that's what it's supposed to look like, and currently this is the stellar start that I've made on it. And it's all creased in exactly the wrong spot. Well, there you go. I've started on the coffin and on one of the flowers on the side there. And this is on, what is this on? This is on a Picture This Plus Eek 32 count. So there's that. I do have some other Lindy Stitches ones as well, but this is the one that I have chosen to concentrate on next. Okay, so next is my only Christmas themed pattern that I'm doing at the moment. Again, there has been no progress. I apologise. How boring this must be. This is Sara Guermani, and I apologise for butchering that name. It's, oh, it could be Sara. Sorry. But it's Wicked Christmas. There we go. I just really, really like the look of that. There you go. And I'm doing this on 18 count Swigart Smoky White. So I'm doing this on an Ada. And again, such an amazing amount of progress on this. Blink and you'll miss it. Hang on, let me hold this up properly. There you go. That is it. That is all I've done. That is so bad. I'm just thinking now, are there any that I've progressed? This is so bad. I have done so bad with keeping up with all my stitching. But life intervenes, doesn't it? Life gets in the way. Unfortunately. Okay, so my next okay, let's retitle this. These are all WIPs that I would like to have some progression on in the year. Right, so this is like a problem child, this one. It is my full coverage. It's my original, it's the OG full coverage. And as such, let me just find the picture for you. This is a Marjorie Sarnett, it's Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is Flutter. I love the picture. I have some postcard size picture of several in this series, and this is one of my favourites. But this was the first ever full coverage I did, and I have done this on 25 count. 25 count Easy Guide. It is Easy Guide, I think, Flutter. Yeah, Easy Count Swigart. 1/1 full cross. If I'd have started it now, I would have done it on at least a 28 count, maybe half stitch, 2/1 half stitch. But I didn't, and every time I look at it, I fall in love with it again. But then when I'm away from it and I forget, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to carry on stitching it full cross on 25 count. But then I look at it, and especially when I look at it here, actually, the coverage looks really well. But when you're like right up close, the black, it's black DMC, the coverage isn't brilliant. But then at a distance, I think it's going to look amazing. So I was banding about, should I restart it? Should I go on to 28 count? Will that make me happier? But then I'm thinking, do you know what? No, I've done a ton of work on this and it's actually looking really beautiful. I just love how the eye has turned out. So what I'm going to do is concentrate on working on the head, and I'm going to leave this black for a little bit, and then every now and then when I fancy just getting in a ton of stitches, I'll just do nothing but black, and eventually the black does end and it turns into this gorgeous blue. So I am going to persevere, and this is going to come back out, and I'm going to concentrate on this as my full coverage. So yeah, so that is Marjorie Sarnett Flutter Heaven and Earth design. And I do have other Heaven and Earth designs in this bag, but I am not going to touch on them this year, so that's why I am not showing them. Okay, next, Teresa Kogut, Oh My Soul. Let me show you this. Here we go. So this is one of her angels. These are art pieces she's done that she converted to cross stitch, and this one just fell in love with this picture. Again, no. There's the dog. I'm just going to pause you for 1 second. Hi again. Although for you that would have been kind of instant, but for me it was a couple of minutes as I settled the dog and bribed it with a treat. My dog has turned into more of a barker recently. The reason why I'll explain at the end, but yeah, she hears anything outside now, she tends to bark. She doesn't last long and it's easy to calm, thankfully, but she has a very loud bark. Bless her cotton socks. Oh, my eyebrow. Sorry, I just realised. Looks a bit skew-whiff. Okay, so yes, Oh My Soul, Teresa Kogut. Now, this is going to be one of those where you have to trust the process and trust that when you've finished this face, it's going to look less like an alien and more like the actual art. But yes, that is where we're at the moment with that. So I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to carry on going, but it just looks a bit strange at the moment. But that is my progress on that so far. And this is on 32 count Mocha by Swigart. All DMC in that, so that's a nice easy one. Oh, sorry, that was my alarm going off. I need to feed the cats soon. Okay, so the next two, progress and a new start. So I've been spending a lot of time at my mum's, and when I go up there, because I take the dog with me generally, and if I'm staying over there, most of my stuff is dog stuff, and if I do want to stitch, I don't want to be taking all the normal paraphernalia I take up, you know, lamps and stands and whatever, so I have to stitch in hand. And I want easy patterns when I'm stitching in hand, and because most of the time I have to take my glasses off and I'm like holding it like this, but I'm actually getting quite good at stitching in hand, if I'm honest. So I have two here that are pretty simple to do in hand. So the first one is a new start, and this is incredibly simple. It's a Good Morning Moui pattern, and it's one I've had for a while, and it's just something really funny and straightforward, and it's this Schitt's Creek pattern. So like I said, incredibly easy to do stitching in hand. You just do it on some grey Ada, bing bang boom, very easy. So I have just started. There we go. So like I said, very small start, but it's just very easy to do in the evening. I don't need all my full paraphernalia, and I can just happily stitch away on that. So that's the first one. That shouldn't take too long to do at all, but literally I'm only doing that when I go to my mum's house. And the next one is my next Cricut collection pattern, and this is let me just find the actual picture. This is Sleepy Hollow. This is one that I have been stitching on for a while. I am doing this as a triptych. Some people have done it all in one, but I am doing it as a triptych because now I know how to do flat folds. They no longer hold any fear for me. So I no longer deeply regret my decision to do it as a flat fold or as a triptych because it's easy. So that is what I'm doing, and I have actually, bar the back stitching, I have completed the central panel, which I will quickly show you because it looks lovely. There, oh, look how nice that fabric's showing up in this light. That is actually true to life. So yes, that's the centre panel. Like I said, I just have to do the back stitch on that, and that one is finished. And I'm currently working on this one here, and I have finished all the big bulk stitching on that house. I need to do the windows and I need to do that, but I have actually done the roof. I think I've done the no, I may need to do the chimneys, but I've done the roof and I've done the main part of the house. And this is another one that I can actually do stitching in hand because it's just straightforward. But here we go. No, I've not done the chimneys yet, but I will. I'm not inserting in a picture because basically I hadn't started any of this at the beginning of the year, so there we go. So I was very pleased to get that roof done because it was not quite as much of a job as the skirt on the Lindy Stitchy one, but it was still quite a lot of stitching because again I decided to go for maximum variegation. So that is that. I have not yet decided if I'm going to switch to working on this church just to get it out of the way and then do all the little bits. I don't know yet, or if I just complete that panel then move on. I think I might switch to work on the church because that'll be easy to do at my mum's house as well, stitching in hand, but I don't know yet. But I'm very happy with this. It's 28 count. It was just a cream Zweigart that I hand dyed, and finally it shows up in this light true to life, so very happy with that. So this potentially could be a finish this year. That would be very nice, and then to fully finish it. Okay, so I honestly think that, oh no, there's one other that I've made progress on. No, there's something else I've made progress on. Ha! That's about it. I've got a couple more to go through yet, and I think there's only one other one that I've actually worked on. So bad. I'm being so bad this year. Okay. Oh, the cat's come back. I keep swiveling the wrong way so you can see it. There you go. Ugh. Next one is not one that I've made progress on. This is my current Prairie Moon. It's not actually one of the Crypt Club ones. It's... oh, no, that's not the one I meant to show you. Have I forgotten to bring the pattern up for this? Yes, I have. One secondo. Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Here we go. It's the house that Jack's built 2. Come on, load up, load up, load up. Let me take a glass while we're waiting. Can you see that while we wait? There we go. Ah. there we go. So that's the one I'm doing. I may actually finish this one before I move on to another one, but I'm, you know, not yet decided. And I'm stitching this on another picture, this plus. This is, oh no, no it's not. This is a gorgeous chromatic alchemy called, I think it's Saturin. I'm not sure, but there we go. Let me put something behind it so you can see it better. There we go. Now, this I am unpicking because I am in, this is tulip, this colour, but it's just too vivid a red for this. What I want it to be more of a darker red there. So I'm going to pick that out and restitch it in that darker red there. But that is a house that Jack's built too. Oh, we have a visitor here. She's going to knock something over, I just know it. It is Sasha. Are you going to, what are you going to knock over? Please don't knock the tripod. This cat has absolutely no respect for filming protocol. Come on, if you want to come through, come on. Sorry, bear with me. But I just know she's going to knock something over. But no, now she's treading all over my stitching. There you go. Say hello. There you go. Here's my baby Sasha. Okay. It's almost time for feeding. And here, so I lied. I have actually 2 other pieces that I've made some progression on, so yay for me. This is a Quiltyfy Designs. Now, oh, I forgot to take a picture of it. Oh no, I got it here. Huh. Excuse me one moment. So I finished a crosswork pattern last year by Quiltyfy Designs, bear with me one second, called Get... Oh! Is this Quiltyfy? Nope, this isn't Quiltyfy Designs, this is the wrong bloody one. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Oh, did you get to see my big bum then? Okay, so last year I finished a piece by Quiltyfy Designs called The Kraken, which I absolutely loved. So they have another one that is very similar to it called Ship Band. So let me show you the pattern for this. Yes, we have to go through this fiasco again of me trying to find the bloody picture for it. There we go. So there we go, Ship Band. And they also have another one which is just a ship with another kraken coming up, but it's very wee. I just can't show you that because the front sheet is actually the pattern, so I don't want to ruin that. But yes, but this is the one I am currently working on, and I'm doing it on exactly the same material that I did on this because I just happen to love these types. So because I have this one, and I also have the other one that I showed kind of a moment ago, Get Kraken by Ink Circles. So I just love Kraken stuff. Yeah, so I'm doing those two, and the funny thing about this is that I wanted to use the same material and everything on the Kraken, so there could be like in a little triptych of patterns, but I couldn't remember, or should I say I had written down incorrect material, and in fact I would have been telling everybody every time I showed it the incorrect material that I used. But I remembered that I bought it from Create Nostalgia, a cross-stitch shop here in the UK, and I was able to, I had a small swatch of it left, and very kindly I sent it to Create Nostalgia, and they looked through all of their fabric and was able to match it. And what it actually is 32 count grey Icelandic grey from Whitchy. And this is what I have done so far. Now, there is a mistake. Any eagle-eyed people, if you want to put in the notes below what the glaring mistake is. But the thing that isn't a mistake is I have depicted my initials in red. I did that on the other ones as well. But yeah, if you can figure out what that mistake is, it is kind of obvious once you realise. But it's one of those things that I decide, when I realised what I'd done, I was like, you know what? I don't care. It's funny. It makes me laugh every time I see it, so I wasn't going to unpick and redo. So yeah. I think that one is that's actually really easy stitching, so I don't think that one would take me long to do. So if I wanted to, I could probably finish that this year as well. Okay, so next one. Ugh, no progress. But this is one I really do want to make progress on, because I love this pattern. It's another Cricut collection, and it's the Great Pumpkin Conspiracy. And I'm doing this on an absolutely stunning piece of fabric that was ever so kindly sent to me by Kaylee Tentstitch is her Flosstube name, but she has a cross stitch store where she does amazing patterns and absolutely amazing fabric that's more artwork than anything. But this stunning piece which matches this so perfectly. So I think that if I get that Sleepy Hollow one finished, this is the next one I want to concentrate on. I'm going to have a little break from doing the months, and I'm going to concentrate on doing these ones. But yeah, I mean, how, again, this light is just enabling me to really show this. And look at that, it's just so perfect for this piece. There you go. So this is the Great Pumpkin Conspiracy by Cricut Collection, or Cross-Eyed Cricut, whatever you call them. But look, it even matches kind of the colour of the fabric there. It's just perfect. It's like it was made for it. So Kaylee, again, thank you so much for this. Truly appreciated. Oh, talking about that, she had a sale a while ago, and I bought this amazing project bag. This is kind of like my on-the-go project bag, so I'll put everything in here. For example, when I go to my parents, so the tin that's got all my cross-stitch accoutrement in goes in here, my Q-snap goes in here, the actual bag that's got the project goes in here. It's amazing. So this is, she also does project bags as well. So yeah, I was very lucky with this because she had a sale. It was a sale on the actual products, but there was no postage, and she's based in Canada, so that was really good. This is enough of my cats. This is my this is the elder Ruby. Hello, sweetheart. Say hello. Oh, okay, so maybe she's giving evil eye at the minute, but there you go. It's because they want feeding, basically. They always want feeding. Okay, so that is Pumpkin Conspiracy. Okay, next. This is a restart. So, oh, that is, oh, I'm not sure, that's either 32, 35 or 36 count. That I think it might be 32 count. So this one is this huge amazing piece by Carriage House Samplings. It's Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Now I had, this again is one I had initially started right at the start of my career a couple of years ago, and I'd done it on 16 count Ada Oaken. Absolutely nothing wrong with Ada. I have a couple of pieces on Ada, but it was just quite tough going, and it was going to be mahoosive, and the colour I hadn't really put much thought at that stage. I really hadn't put much thought into getting a background that I really liked or that matched the actual design, and I worked on this and I'd done almost all of this central thing, but it just didn't look right, and so I made the painful decision to restart. But I don't regret that in any way, shape or form, but you know, you spend all that time and it was just like, no, I've had enough on it. I mean, I've still got it, and what I might say is, I've not got the actual thing here with me, but what I might do in my next Flosstube is I'll show it and say, look, if anybody wants this, if you know, then they can have it. I mean, I doubt anybody would, but I'll offer it anyway. But or if anybody goes in my past videos and sees what it looked like and they want it, they can have it. But I decided to restart it, and I'm doing what I should have done originally, which is start it on 40 count as I did with Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. And I have got, I agonised over this. I initially got that little dove from XDU Designs that I'm using on full moons for this. Started it. It didn't look right, it was too pristine, and this needs, for me, this needed something a bit grungy. So I went for good old Murky by Picture This Plus. And all I've been doing on this is I've worked on doing some of the boxes and a tiny start, teeny tiny there. But I am incredibly happy now with my choice of fabric. So eventually I'll come back to this. But I might actually just work on doing all the borders first of all and get them done. But yeah, so there is my restart on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Okay, we have, I think, 3 more to go, and on one of them there is progress. This is a Caroline Manning's design, and it is Peacock Topaz, part of the Shooting Stars collection. They are all my favourite colours in one piece. I've done another of her Shooting Stars. No, I'm not going to reach over for it, you don't need to see it, but I've done another one of them and they look glorious. So I have started this, and I'm doing this on Ada, which is what the other one was on, but this time I'm doing it on 16 count Ada instead of 14 count, and all of this has been done this year basically. Maybe 1 or 2 triangles was done, but the bulk of it has been done this year, and those colours do not disappoint. Very happy with that. This is one, to be honest, I could take up to my mum's to do, because this again would be easy stitching in hands work. Look at these colours, they're just so lovely. Purples and blues and yeah, and greens. I absolutely love them. So yeah, so all DMC. Okay. So I kind of lied, I do have one other Heaven and Earth designs that I may choose to do some more stitching on this year. This is kind of like I'm going to try and concentrate on Flutter, but every now and then I might reach for this. And this is a Heaven and Earth design. It's Hot Air Balloon Sunrise by Lars Stewart. There is somebody else on Instagram, and I'm really sorry I can't remember who it is, who has either finished or almost finished this, and it looks magnificent. And I just fell in love with all of those colours. This is on 28 count this time, 28 count Easy Guide by Zweigart, and I'm doing this 2/1 10 stitch or half stitch, whichever is the correct terminology for it. And again, there's not been any progress from when I showed it at the beginning of the year, but there we go. So I'm very happy with the coverage for that. But yeah, it's incredibly easy stitching. And when I do full coverage, I stick rigidly to square by square and parking, and then I'll try and do that on others and then just get carried away and then just do long distance stitching on it. So I don't really have a set way that I do them. It's just however I'm feeling on that day, basically, when I pick the needle up. That goes in here, another of the ones that I made. Okay, oh, we're on the last one. Holy crap, and I've lied again. I have another one that I've made progress on. I've done a little better than I thought. So I will, if I remember, insert a picture at some point of what it looked like at the beginning of the year. Oh my god, this one's fighting back. It doesn't want to go in there. Okay, we're done. Oh, I know, we're almost finished. Yes, I know. Tabby. Hello, baby. She's very vocal when she wants to be fed. You'd think they're never fed, but they are very well fed. And it's not that late for them. Okay, so now this one is a beautiful, beautiful design. This is Hollande Merklap by Jeanette Douglas Designs. It is that magnificent piece. There you go. And I wanted to work on the border on this because I wanted to make sure that I hadn't made some horrible mistakes on here, and that so I wanted to make sure it all matched up, and it matched up. So what I have done is I've not completed the border, but I've done all of those little swirly green things, and they're all where they're supposed to be, basically, so everything matches up on that. So that is what I have done so far. So what I am going to do is I'm going to finish that entire border. Might as well just get it done with now I've managed to get all that done, get it out of the way, and then I can enjoy myself with all the specialty stitches and using all of these magnificent silks and that I saved up for this, and get this one finished. But I was so happy when I got to the end here and I realised that there was the right amount of stitches in between there. It was like, yes, because I could have seen me severely screwing up on this one. This is on the recommended fabric. This is 35 count silver grey. Oh, one of my cats down there. So that is it. That is all my live WIPs. Now, I may not necessarily stitch on all of them this year, but if I am going to stitch on something, it's going to be one of the ones that I've just shown you. So yeah, so that's that. There have been a few little purchases, those Quiltyfy design patterns. I've had some fabrics that have come in the Fabric of the Month Club. So I'm in Chromatic Alchemy. There's this beautiful one called Enigma. That is gorgeous. Oh, this light is just showing these up beautifully. So that's Enigma. Now this one is not necessarily one that I would have normally do, but I can see myself reaching for this for something. This is, sorry, they're all 32 count by the way, linen, and this is Aspen. This is like a whole mix of colours, but I'm actually quite partial to that. Every time I see it I just like it a little bit more. It's quite nice that. I actually did a big organisation of my of all my fabrics because they were all an absolute mess. So I've redone them, got them all out, looked at them, measured them, so I know exactly what I've got now. I've got them all on a spreadsheet. I need to add these to it actually. But so I've got my ages in a plastic container up there, and so I felt so organised after that. I wasn't in the mood for stitching one day, but I was in the mood for organising. So I decided to organise all my fabrics, so it's all looking good. I was happy with that once I've done that. So, and I also tidied up all my threads and whatnot, so that always makes me, I don't know what it is, whenever my mind's all over the shop and I just need to calm down, I find organising something helps. If there's a spreadsheet involved especially, that always makes me happy. I'm sorry, I think I've been staring at the wrong thing in the camera for a while now, so if my eyes have kind of like been looking off like that, I apologise. But it's whenever you record on your phone, isn't it? You think, oh, if I look at the centre, that works, but it doesn't. You have to look at the bloody corner there and you forget. But sorry, I'm rambling. This is the last piece of fabric from Chromatic Alchemy, and this one is just gorgeous. This is turquoise. That is just beautiful. That's my fabric. Because I'm sad, I also bought some tins. So these are biscuit tins from Booths, but they're just, look at that. There's not really much else to say, and the reason I'm showing it is because this is my new stitchy tin. So this comes everywhere with me. It's got everything I need for stitching. It's got my scissors, it's got my little aught catcher, it's got my needle minders and needles, and I've got needle minders there that are basically holding the lid like that. But yeah, but because I now have a dog, I had to get the matching doggy one. So I mean, how could I not? And in fact, I was staring at them in Booths when I was at my mum's in Lytham, and she saw me staring at them and she said, I'll get them you, Catherine. And I was thinking, you don't need more tins, Catherine. But how could I resist? And then another thing I bought, which is, I went on a trip, which I'll tell you about in a minute, but my obsession with kraken and octopus and sea creatures and things like that. I went in this shop by the seaside and saw these and had to get them. I mean, you'll see why. Look at that. Look at that. And a matching tray. Literally, I don't use mugs because I don't drink tea or coffee, but when I saw these, I just couldn't not get them. Yeah. So anyway, so those are basically my purchases. Life, well, life has been interesting, but let's first go to the pieces of good news, in which there are two really good news. The first is my weight loss journey. I am now 2 pounds off 3 stone, so I am incredibly happy about that. I went away at the weekend. I needed a break, so literally Thursday, no, either Wednesday, was it Thursday? No, it was a Thursday, I think. I basically texted my boss and said, look, I need the weekend off. I'm going to book myself somewhere this weekend, Friday to Sunday, and I'm going to take a long weekend. I'm sorry, I just need it. And he was like, yep, do what you want to do what you need. So I booked a little fisherman's cottage in Whitby. I've always wanted to go to Whitby. I don't know why I've never been, but I chose the right weekend because it was stunning weather. It was just glorious. I went for walks with the dog in the morning where it was still a little bit cooler but still quite warm. She got to go in the sea. We just got to it wasn't that busy, and it was just glorious. Parking's terrible at Whitby, however, but that's neither here nor there. Like, it was just, that's where I got the mug actually, but it was just so nice, and I definitely want to go back there, even if it's in winter time when it's a bit rougher. I don't care. I just had such a lovely weekend. If I could have stayed there longer, I would have, but it was already incredibly expensive, but it was so nice. But yeah, the reason I was saying that is because Whitby, for anybody who knows Whitby, you'll know what I'm talking about here. To get from the main walkway to the actual beach area. It's just a very steep, not so much a cliff, but the hill it's very steep to get down there, and there's pathways that meander down to get to it, quite steep pathways, but also a lot of stairs. So going down is fine, obviously, other than tripping over and breaking your neck, but and with a dog dragging you. But coming back up, I, for some mad reason, decided to do the stairs, and I really felt it in my legs. But by the time I got to the top, there was a gentleman at the top I stopped to have a chat with, and then as I was walking away from him, I suddenly realised that I'd done all those steps, those quite steep steps, started having a conversation with him, and wasn't having a heart attack or fighting to get my breath together. And it was like, oh my God, so that's why I was losing weight. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm by no stretch of the imagination a fit person, but if I'd have done that this time last year, I literally would have been having a heart attack. In fact, I wouldn't have even got to the top of the stairs. Probably about halfway up, they would have had to like airlift me in like one of those lifts that they use for elephants or whatever when they're stuck down a well. They would have had to use one of them to get me up to the top, and you know, but luckily they didn't need to. So yeah, so I'm really happy with that. That's nearly 3 stone, which is bloody amazing if I'm quite honest. And the other piece of good news is that my cat Tabby is currently in remission for her diabetes. Now it's rare apparently, but it can happen with cats who are it doesn't happen in dogs apparently, but in cats it can happen after they've been diagnosed with diabetes. They can suddenly go into remission, and it wasn't a case that she'd been misdiagnosed. She did have diabetes. I mean, I'm kind of like on tenterhooks that is it going to come back or whatever, but at the moment, and this is one of the reasons why I was able to just book a off the cuff visit to Whitby, is because I didn't have to worry about sorting out her injections and things like that. But no, we over the past 2 months we've been doing regular tests, and we've been gradually reducing her amount of insulin until it got to the point where the vet said, right, okay, we're going to try it for 2 weeks without any insulin, then we'll retest her and see how she goes. They retested it and she was tickety-boo with it. So at the moment it appears she is in remission from diabetes, which is just amazeballs. So she's a lot more comfortable. She doesn't have to be attacked twice a day with a needle anymore, and she's not being chased around constantly to go to the vets, and we're just both happy with the situation. So yes, that's 2 really good pieces of news. So now for the rest of it. Some of you may already know all of this. My mum had to go in hospital a while ago. It wasn't good. She went in for some tests and she ended up having to stay in for a while. So that was, they thought it was perhaps blood clots on her lung, and it turned out it wasn't. So now she's got to wait for further tests, and it's all just, and I've got my sister that's now going in hospital because masses have been found on her, and it's just like, yeah. So good thoughts for my mum and sister. If you don't, if you wouldn't mind, just keep them in your thoughts. I had a fire. Fire in the kitchen. I'd come home from work, and I was with a friend, and she wanted to see the dog. We'd let the dog out. The dog had come back in the kitchen. I had a freestanding oven, and I think she may have jumped up and accidentally knocked one of the dials on the oven for the hob to turn on one of the hobs. Not realised it happened. We'd left to go back to work. There'd been stuff on top of the hob and next to the hob, and they'd caught on fire. Thankfully the alarm went off, and my neighbour came out because she'd heard that I'd been home, and she came out to knock on to make sure I was okay, and then she saw smoke coming out of a window that had been left open again, thank God. and when she couldn't get hold of me, she called the fire brigade straight away. So they came very quickly, and I wasn't that far away, so I came back, but of course I was in a mass panic because I had 5 cats and a dog in the house. The fire brigade had to break down the door, but they were able to, one of the firemen said basically when they came in it was just thick black smoke, they couldn't see anything. That thick black smoke literally got everywhere in the house on all my dad's paintings, although luckily, because they didn't have to use much water anywhere else in the house, and I don't have any of his paintings or any cross stitch in the kitchen, they just had dry soot on them that I could use a paintbrush to get rid of them. I mean, the cross stitch, whatever, if they'd have been wasted then it would have been a bit upsetting, but whatever. But it was my dad's pictures I was more concerned about, but luckily just a dry paintbrush, very gently gone over, and they're all as good as new, thank God. So the damage was mainly, as in physical damage, was in the kitchen, but my dining room is a write-off. It needs completely stripping down and redoing because the soot is the soot on the wall and everything, it just won't come off. So yeah. So there's been many stuff, like my dog was spayed, but she had a couple of complications. I ended up doing my ankle in and blah 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 blah. It's just been, for the past couple of months, it's like, it's felt kind of, I don't want to moan, I don't want to go on. It's just been life, as it is for all of us. Shit happens, life happens, and you just get on with it. But it's basically meant that I can go weeks without any stitching being done, but then I'll go weeks where I do a ton of it. So it's just one of those things, and you know, work is work, so it's not exactly helping the situation. But yeah, I'm actually surprised. Actually, I'm glad I've just done this, because I'm surprised at how much progress I have made on some. You know, I've actually touched more than I thought I had this year, and those finishes, I just want to show you this again because I just love this. This is like one of the, I just absolutely love it. You know, thank God for that bloke in Abercarn and his eye, because I would never have thought of choosing this, but he was like, no, trust me, it's going to look really good. And yeah, it actually brought me joy when I finished this. It was one of those things that I needed the lift. I finished this and I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I really love that. So I'm very happy. Stitching bringing joy, and curtain fabric bringing joy. So I'm going to leave you there. This is, I need to insert just a couple of pictures. Although saying that, it's, will I insert those pictures? Okay, if I have not inserted those pictures, I apologise, because it's now, it's 9 o'clock, well it's 9:10 now, and I need to feed the cats, and it's going to take time enough to upload this. So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to apologise. I'm not going to have inserted pictures. When I do my WIP parade at the end of the year, I'll have time to do all of that stuff. I will insert full-blown pictures of where things were at the beginning of the year as opposed to at the end of the year. So, sorry. I'll put a disclaimer at the bottom saying there are no pictures inserted. So hopefully you all have had a heads up before the video started, even though I have now only just now made up my mind not to insert those pictures. It takes time though, because there's an extra step. When you insert pictures, you have to upload it to the editing software, then you have to download it back down from the, no sorry, you don't have to upload it to the editing software on my phone. It's actually, that's the easy bit, but you have to do all of the changes, finding the right place, inserting it, then you have to download it from the editing software. So for a while you have 2 copies on your phone, copies of it on the phone, and then you upload it to YouTube. Whereas if I now just upload this to YouTube, I get to miss a whole step just for the sake of inserting, I think it's maybe 2 or 3 pictures, because there's been that little progress. So yeah, so I'm going to skip that step. I am just going to upload this. I am going to do my little thumbnail, which will take me 5 minutes after I've done the cats, and then I will yeah, and then I'll just do my little description bit at the bottom. So there you go, a little insight into what I do with these videos, you know, this amazing professional job that you get every time I upload a video. There you go, that was for free. Right, okay, I'm going crazy now, so I'm going to let you go. It's, as always, thank you all very much when people leave comments. I know I've not done as well these last couple of months in responding, and I do apologise for that, but my brain is just all over the shop at the moment. But I please know that I, as always, appreciate every comment that is left. I am so lucky for the people who do leave comments. You leave such lovely comments. I appreciate them all. Know that they are read. When I put my little heart in it, I don't just blindly put them on. That means that I have read and have appreciated your comment. So yeah, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you do find that mistake on ship band, please feel free to comment below. And if you by any chance want that find in one of my previous videos the work that I had done in Hawk Run Hollow, if you look at my it could potentially be in the WIP parade that I did at the end of 2021. You might see it there, and if you want it, just let me know. No matter where you are in the world, I'll send it to you. If not, I'll show it in the next one and then give you a chance, or then I'll chuck it if nobody wants it. But yeah, I hope you are all safe as well. Ignore my moaning. It's life. I have a hell of a lot to be lucky for, but sometimes it's nice just to vent that life can be crap at times. I will see you. I'm not going to make any promises as to when I do the next video. I hope it will be in a month's time, but I'm just not going to promise. I might end up doing another stitch with me just to say hi to people, but I think primarily it'll be down to when I can get stitching done and if I get a decent amount that's worth showing. So yeah, I will leave you all be. Thanks, you know, if you've made it this long, congratulations. Again, I apologise if I've been staring off at odd points of the camera because I keep forgetting I need to look at the corner there. One day I'll get it right throughout the entire video. But yeah, I love you loads, and hopefully I will see you again in a month. See you later.